Hello, welcome. So this is the first session of the Java, just to get hold of Java. We shall keep it very simple, but then there will be a couple of more sessions where we'll go a slight detail into the Java. What is to understand? There will be a couple of sessions, more sessions just to understand Java. We'll not go into the technology side of Java, but the whole idea is to understand Java, and then it becomes then it becomes so easy for you where whenever you read anything on Java, a lot of learning materials on Java over internet, it becomes so easy. So these are all starter sessions, and hope we'll be able to make it interesting for you. So get hold of Java. So Java is an object-oriented programming. So why it came into an existence is, uh, in earlier days when C was a procedural language, where you would write everything as line. So what do you mean by procedure? Procedure is also called a subroutine, yeah, or a function, yeah, or subroutine function or a method. Okay, so let me give you an example. Let us say you are asked to develop an application, develop an backend application by government. Okay, and they say what the requirements they give is, it's a workflow application. We'll talk on the specifics of workflow application, where the commissioner, okay, district commissioner approves your light request. Okay, what is that light request? So now you would be taking the light from a government thing, right? But you have to apply for solar light. Let us assume you want to install it, is much cheaper than this, and this comes from a private, yeah, party, not from the government sources. And then you will raise a request to the government portal, and then it goes through, you submit a whole lot of your details, submit details, and then it is scrutinized, your application is processed, at last they approve it, your district commissioner approves it, yeah, and you get a success notification or a failure notification with what a reason, like you fill your income tax, right? They made a portal for it. So this is what they ask you to develop this application. So as a developer, if you have to write it in C, what you would do is, you will write it with the main function, and then you will write so many different files, and you'll write it with the main function, and you'll write different functions, right? One work functions for workflow. Inside this you will call so many subroutines. You'll call so one subroutine, second subroutine, third subroutine, everything, all these different units, okay, will be split as a different subroutine. So let me so what will be those subroutines? First, let us try to design this application, and then we'll see how we write it in C and how we write it in Java. Okay, so first, so your application, let us design this. Okay, so first of all, when you design your application, what are those entities? We'll decide in the entities. You are an user. Who can be the users? Yeah, like citizens. Yeah, and then officers. Okay, two type of users. And then there, what will be the features of your application? Okay, there will be a login or authentication. So typically everything, right? There will be a sign up. You need to do a sign up. Then there will be in the screens, user will submit the details. Simple application. Okay, then it goes through different levels of officers to review, right? Process, it is called workflow. Different levels of review. Okay, it is called workflow. Different your initially Pune will review it, and then some authority will review it, then higher authorities will keep reviewing it. It's a process, business process or a workflow. And then at last your district commissioner approves it or rejects it with reasons, yeah. And then you get a notification. Okay, so all these can become a different one, your real world objects. You see this? Okay, these features, this is one, this is also authentication object. Okay, we'll see what is an object, but just for now, these are all one entities. So think from this perspective. When I say object, think from a table perspective. You need to store the user details, you need to store their authentication details. When they submit the application, that needs to go into the database. Yeah, different levels, you need to define the different levels in the database so that you take it, right? All these are different level of abstraction. Okay, so if you had to write all this in C, what you would have written is all these different features. You would have split them into a different methods, subroutines, procedures, different functions, and you would have done it. But in case of Java gives you gives you that facility, right? That facility of abstraction. So Java gives you a great detail of abstraction where you define the things in classes. For example, C, you have to do everything as a different functions. Where if you want to break them into different units for you to comprehend it, right? It does it. But Java gives you that blueprint, okay, where you define your classes, those different the way you design, right? You make them as a different classes. Yeah. And then you call those different classes using the behaviors. The Java classes will have that blueprint, and this blueprint you can also think as a schema, right? When in the database world, you define a schema, isn't it? You define a table. Yeah, you define a table, and table will have so many columns, and you say this column should have this data type. Okay, it can be a string of this, see, those many characters. It can be int of these many characters. You define that schema, right? You're making that schema, what goes into it. You're telling people that, okay, this is what is accepted, this is how you design it. So likewise, classes are also that schema. Classes are that blueprint where you as a programmer are making that program, but you are writing it in a such a beautiful structured way, object oriented way, where you make a blueprint and then you do it. Okay, different. So in this case, what you will write? You will write an user class, you will write an authentication class, you will write a database access class. You are accessing the database access class. Inside that, in the database access class, you will have read. You will write the data, you will read the data, and you will have many different type of reads. Read user, yeah, login user. You'll write different. We'll not go into the detail of it, but it is up to you how you design it, right? Different methods. You will write an authentication class, and then you will make a workflow class. You will make approve reject class, whether they approve or reject. When they approve, this is a method. When they approve, you will send a email. If they reject, you will send a mobile message plus letter also to their home with reasons. Yeah. So many you are basically distributing, you are basically abstracting them, and you are able to visualize, right? As a designer, you can easily make it to the more real object oriented world. You make it more real to the world. And for the developers, right, I come and it becomes so standard across the developer world, software world. When I come in, I see a class diagram from you. Okay, the moment I join your team, I will go and I see a class diagram. I will see your class diagram. I will see your database model. Okay, I will see your service model. What are the services you are offering? Okay, I will see your schemas. Okay, in the schemas, and there's something called WSDL. Okay, yeah, I will see your any different type of schemas are there, whatever JSON schemas are there. So I will see all this. So when I see all this, I can easily make out what is your application. Your application is high at a high level. It is giving these services, and when I see the database model, I know, okay, you are the application who are meant to store the customer data. What is your application actually doing? What type of data you are doing? And when I see the class diagram, I see how your classes are interacting. Okay, I can easily make out, oh, okay, there is one service for this your class diagram. Your class, many of your classes are talking like this and actually giving this result. Okay, I can easily make out. Okay, so this session was about that, where I wanted to convince you on what is the Java classes. So Java classes are a blueprint schema which helps you to bring in that level of abstraction. Plus, so Java in Java, right? What happens is it's I mean, do not confuse yourself. You know, for example, if I have to give you an example, you are writing a program and keeping it. I told you, right, you designed an application, you wrote a whole set of your classes, so many of your classes, you know, you packaged them, all classes what are above, right? You packaged, you wrote this program, you packaged them, you bundled all this, yeah, and you deployed it, runtime environment, right? You deployed it, you wrote all this class, there are IDEs available, right? Integrated development environments, where Eclipse based tools are there, where you can write this program, test these programs. You know, that will be your test environment when you are designing your application and you are making this application. Okay, you're testing it, and then you put it on your you put it on different environments. You will put it on SIT, system integration environment, or we call it as dev. Then you will put it on UAT, and then you will eventually put it on production for the real usage. So you will put it all this your package. So when you are writing it, in an IDE, it is a class. When you are testing it in runtime, when actually you're testing your program, it becomes an object. And when the same object, yeah, your class, many users are using it, okay, yeah, or the program is written in such a way where we make many instances of your class, it becomes an instance. Okay, it becomes many instances of the object, right? And then the where you write something like this: employee is the class name, emp1 is equal to new employee. So this becomes a pointer in the object, in the ref, in the memory. Some memory will be allocated in the RAM, in your heap memory, right? So this becomes your reference variable. But if I also have another class, new, I make another class, and another instance gets created. But then at some stage I make employee2 is equal to employee1. Okay, so your employee2 now becomes an employee1. So this will go away, but then they both are pointing to the same pointer. Okay, so there are many way you do it. But just think about it. You know, what is programming? You are making everything, you know, the, earlier you have to write, you used to do sum with numbers, with fingers, right? And then you did it on paper, and then there came a calculator where you can use the calculator, all of them could use it, right? And then there came the programmings where you could do it online. With internet you can do everything online. So and then there came a different style of programmings. You did it in C, everything was written sequential with subroutines. But then Java came in, it is giving you more and more abstraction. And in Python also, object oriented is there, where you could do it more real world, right? You think from a business perspective, and you can write the program the way you are imagining the business entities. Okay, and it is something which Java became very famous, because on database side you are visualizing the data and you are making the data entities tables, and the same thing can be made, as an object. But in C it was not possible, but in C++ Java it is possible. Very closer. You imagine, you make, as a designer, you think, you make the class diagrams, you know, you make some diagrams, you think about the entities, this is how my application should be, and you give those blueprints, architecture, and then your developer team builds accordingly. That, you know, they make the classes and make it happen. They also write so many other classes to make the entire program work. But then it is that level of abstraction. That is why lot and lot of products are easily made, right? So many. So Java itself, for example, if I have to tell you, there is, Java gives you a class called string. So in the string there are so many methods where, you know, you can concatenate one string to this, you can do a substring, you can break, you can split it. Okay, so many features, Java gave you this string and they gave you so many methods. By itself you could call this and you could do it. So in the programming world, what you do, either you do some mathematical function, okay, or you deal with the text data. You want to show the data on a UI, you want to process that data, or what you do, you want to play a video, or you want to play a voice, yeah, or you want to do some analytics, graphs and all, okay, or what else, these are the things, right? So except in human touch, this is basically the type of data you process in the database. You are storing a text, or you'll store a video, or you'll store a voice, or you store a analytics. So for this to happen, these are different data types. In the text itself, you do a number, a float, yeah, um, uh, float and a text, right, string, yeah. And that way in video you have a different type voice. So for this, the whole idea is, somebody would have written so many packages for you to do certain things, right, to upload a video or to download a video or whatever. So many packages, in the packages they would have written many classes. You go, for example, you want to upload a PDF. Okay, somebody wants to submit the proofs, they will upload an Aadhaar card. Or somebody wants to upload an Excel sheet, somebody wants to upload an image, somebody wants to upload a text, somebody wants to upload a video, or somebody wants to upload a graph, whatever. So these are the different data types, right? So there would be somebody who would have already written a class, how to upload this into your system, how can it come in, and how this goes into the database. All of this they could have already written it, you can reuse it. So the basically the idea is, it is giving you that facility, right? In C it would have not been possible, because if they had to do it everything, they had to write in a sequential way as a subroutines, you could have not seen it. But this, with packages, classes, more structured way, it becomes so easy for you to go and read the documentation. It gives you that designer level, right, where you see the documentation, and then you can easily make out what is what. Okay, so this is about it. Please watch more sessions. There are a couple of more sessions where we talk on the same thing but with different example, and which will make it more and more easier for you to digest the information and understand what is Java. Okay, thanks for watching. Hope you'll be able to understand it. Look forward for more interesting videos. Thanks again. Bye.